Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the part 2 of the session we were continuing. So, we have referred the basis of the word political and the theory, which we have seen that it is the first chapter of political science optional paper 1. And now, in this video, we are going to see the journey of political philosophy to the political theory, and from political theory, the journey to the political science. So we are very clear that the optional requires a very clear details, word specific boundary knowledge. So whenever the question uses a specific word, your approach, your answer, and the kind of examples you are supposed to give will change automatically. That's why we have to understand the background and the clear meaning between each words, because the optional is specifications and detail. The GS paper is more about the generalizations and the more about the interlinking of the subject. Here it is individual and more about the context which is giving its the rise and the importance. Okay, so now we are going to start. See, in the words which are given here, if you observe them clearly, whatever the political philosophy which is there, this is the oldest one, and from there the political theory slowly have developed in the world, and from there the political science has came into existence. So the political philosophy is the oldest one which was made possible. Thereafter, the political theory came into existence. Then finally, we are seeing the right now, your name of the optional is political science. So though the first chapter is mentioned as political theory, the total optional paper is considered as political science. It means that what includes in political science is not completely included in the political theory. So that difference we are supposed to see here. Okay. So first we will start with the word political philosophy. As I have said that this is the oldest one. So here you can see these are the people like who are responsible, and these are the political philosophers: Plato, Socrates, Aristotle. So they are from the age-old area, Greece, which we have referred that the Greece is responsible for the foundational values of the political science. So, philosophy, if you individually refer the word philosophy also, it is about the method and like what you follow it as a discipline, and like what is your belief, like this is how it has to happen, or in what way it has to happen, and where the conceptual clarity is given, that is philosophy. For example, you say that what is your philosophy of your life, or you say that what is the philosophy of this exam. So, that is what is the way, method, and the purpose which you have it there. So that's why you observe the words which are written here, the ideas, the critical thinking, the goal. These were the core ideas of the philosophy. So philosophy is about being fine, being about the ideal, talking about the mission, talking about the vision. And individually I'm sitting here and thinking that, oh, is it like that? So this should be the best possibility. Oh, he should not ever lied, and he should not do it. If a king is there, oh, he should behave like that. That is like you are sitting and like you are thinking about some ideas and a best possible belief system. That is more of a philosophy which you are binding together. You know whether it can be possible or not, or you may not know that, like, you are talking about something which is only possible in an ideal world. But altogether, when you combine those ideas together, that will be considered as philosophy. So political philosophy specifically, because this is the oldest branch of subject which is concerned with our subject. So the oldest field of study in this disciple, we said that it is considered as a master's science for the rest of the subjects which are derived from here, like public administration, etc. So it is normative, as I have said. So what ought to be, I'm saying like you should clear in your first attempt. So that should be your philosophy of your exam. That is normative. You're saying that like what ought to be, and like you're not saying that practically is it possible or not. Maybe it is possible, may not be, but I feel that no, you should clear. That is philosophy. So that is a belief, and like which you should move forward with. So, in a classical period of Greek civilization, the major focus of the political philosophy was the ideal society. This was I was talking about. So ideal society, the ethics and the moralities were standing as the core pillars of the politics, that is philosophy. So the Plato, Aristotle, the books which they have written, the concept they have given, like the example like education system. In the education system, they said like how morally a person should be good, and the philosopher king concept, like the king should be the person who doesn't have any family, he should not have any selfishness, and he should not have any belonging for himself. So that is a philosopher king, and that way the politics makes the society more just, that is philosophy, that the philosophy of the political part. So this was the oldest thing which was as a subject for the politics, political philosophy. From the political philosophy part we have moved to the next era, which is the political theory. So theory, we have already explored the words here, but if you have to comparatively look at what is political philosophy and political theory, so political theory is a sub part of what we have as a political science. It's a combination actually. So now political theory is analytical study of ideas. So analytical study means you're taking the good, you're taking the bad, you're comparing the good and bad, and then you are coming up with a thought. Again, this is also a thought, then that is ethical and normative, and the questions will be having a dialect here, a discussion will be possible here, that is political theory. So now again I will explain you with an example. So we have taken the example that like in an ideal situation how you are supposed to behave. So we are saying that okay, king should be very very good, and he should treat all the people like his children, so that's why he should not have any of the family. That was our political philosophy in the Greece period. And now if you come to the political theory, what do you do is that you discuss and say that is it possible, and you discuss that if he doesn't have a family, is he going to be like that? Now you don't know, finally you come with a concept. There it was individual thought. The political philosophy of Plato is different, the political philosophy of Aristotle is different, but the political theory will have certain things which are combination. So now you take the best things out of the Plato, and then you combine it with the Aristotle, and then you are discussing. Now also you don't know the practicality, but you are discussing and coming with an outcome, that is your political theory. So now you are thinking about democracy, and democracy you're thinking about the book, you're observing it, and then like you're combining the different kinds of democracy and bringing up a theory. And now this theory is possible or not, we don't know, but there is a combination, there is an analytics. You know what is good, you know what is bad, at least in theory format you know it. But when you have read about the political philosophy, it was ideal, it was more and more about the perfect things, it was more about the normative things, and it was like your mission, goals, or your targets. But here it is not like that. Here you are thinking that what is possible enough in a theory, and what is your idea, what is my idea, and let's have discussion. Let me pose a question, you try answering it, that is theory. So when Karl Marx has come with a Marxism, then he had made it as a theory. Why we are calling it as theory is because he has seen the communism, and as a response he felt that the Marxism is a solution for the miseries in the world in the industrial period. That is a theory. He has observed and he has imagined that this is how it is. He has cross questioned himself, and then he has combined various ideas already in existence. Then he made a theory. Now, this theory is correct or not is a total different thing. But still, this theory is having too many ideas from too many different thoughts. Why we cannot call Karl Marx as a philosopher? Because Karl Marx has observed more and more different elements. He was not isolated in a singular unit and prepared the theory. Theory comes out because of many things which are in the society, that is analytical, too many ideas. But when we were talking about the Plato, they are called as philosophers because you're talking about the ideal thing, you're talking about the normative thing. So that's why philosophy is different from the theory. Hope we are very very clear about this thing. So if I talk about direct democracy, everybody taking part in the voting, removal of the people, and passing the bill, that is something like philosophy, which you want at the end of the day. And that is a motive of the democracy. But if I'm talking about the indirect democracy, at least, and the possibility of it, and thinking that that is the best form of democracy, that is theory. Still, we don't know whether it is true or not, also. But you are analyzing it, you are comparatively taking too many possibilities, and you are having a question and answer format to it, and you are having a dialect to it, and you are attaching it to the ethics. That is political theory. Okay. So the next, finally, the last word which we have to refer, that is the political science. Okay. So this is the word which we use for our optional. So we consider a humanitic subject as a science right now. So that is a paradox, isn't it? So anything which is related to a human cannot be science, because human is context oriented and ever changing. But how we are considering the politics or the political science here as a science, because that is our aspiration, and we are taking a broad generalization and we want to achieve the perfection in that area. So that's why we are calling it as a political science. So the simple format is that there is one common element which is universal everywhere, and that is the political science part of it. We are not concerned what is your philosophy. We are not very much interested in the theory part. We are more interested in practicality, whether it is possible. Did you do it? Is it possible? Where it is possible? How it is possible? When you are referring all these things, then that becomes the science. Because science is something like the formula of water will not change in any of the country. H2O is H2O. But is it holy, or is it like divine or not? Is it like dangerous like floods? That is all theory. It depends individually, from religion to religion, from area to area. And like when you think that no, it is like the best only and it is a good thing only, that is philosophy. Or when you think that we have to make the good use of it only, that is the philosophy. So here we are talking about the practical use of it. We are talking about which we have already evidence about it, and the generalization which will not change from one country to another country, because that is more and more which is observed as a pattern in all the regions. Okay. So political science is a study of state and government. So obviously the political theory is a part of political science. You study the theory, you study the practicality, then you come up with a political science. Okay. So, understanding the state, principles, ideas underlying the organization and activities, the physical form of performing it. So, the study of the body politic and the political community, people also, the men's as a group also, and everything, you are seeing whether it is possible as said or not, then you are coming up with the political science. So, political science is something which is a more and more came as an academics in the modern world. So when you have come up with the government as an important element rather than the kings and queens, then you have given importance to the political science. Like you wanted some generalized principles to control the people and to manage them for the betterment of the society. And for that, you needed some kind of universal logics in the political science that is developing as an academics. Okay. So it is a child of 20th century and describe, analyze, explain government and other political institutions in impartial manner. So these are the people like who are important in the ideal political system, which is like more of philosophical, but they are the foundations. So the one is Plato, the other one is Aristotle, then the Machiavelli. So these are all the people, they are associated more with the political philosophy rather than the political theory. But when you come to the political science, you will have n number of thinkers. They are not philosophers, they are considered as thinkers. That's why we call them as thinkers. And when you come to the recent modern world, you call them as a political scientist. You don't even call them as a thinkers. So that is a journey of political science from philosophy to the political theory, finally to something called as the political science. For the complete continuation of the session, please watch part 3 video where we discuss about the political theory with definitions.